Okay folks, I figured I'd show you the garden. Growing really well. Got some fog on the camera. Okay, make sure the camera don't fall back up. It's growing good. We got that one pepper. We got blooms on the other pepper. 2 blooms there. Tomatoes are getting big. And my cucumbers are doing really well. So we may weed out a few of the cucumbers, the ones that's not doing as good. And that's one of the reasons we planted a lot of them. And the ones against the fence over there, they was the last ones I planted and or transplanted, and they're not really doing that good. But anyway, everything's looking pretty good. Waiting on some, hopefully, some blooms on these tomato plants. We're gonna have to get them staked pretty soon. Okay folks, Jonathan here. Something a little different today. We're gonna do a little work on the Coupe with the Cadillac engine, 41 Cadillac. And one thing I'm doing is getting the generator wired up because I didn't have it wired up, and I need to get that done. We got a cruise in coming up Monday night. We missed 2 because of the COVID-19, so we're trying to get back on track. I want to get the wiring done here. I've got pipes that should be here tomorrow. I've got side pipes. I got 2 glass packs. I just needed the down pipe. So I thought I bought 2 of them 45 degree, and of course I didn't. I bought them 30 degrees after I looked. So should be adequate though. What we've got here is the 57 Chevrolet generator, and this is my wiring that I had for the alternator. We had this to power, of course, and then had this going. This would be the exciter wire. So I'm going to disconnect that wire on the inside from the key switch, and we're going to put it on the field side, because your field side is your smaller wire. Your armature side would be your bigger wire. We'll run our field armature to a voltage regulator and go ahead and get that done. And we'll just, right here's the power. This would have been the power to the battery. So what we'll do is cut that and put a new piece on it, heat shrink it, and solder it and run it into the cab, because I'm going to mount the voltage regulator on the inside of the firewall instead of the outside. So we're going to do that. I'm going to get that piece on that I've been wanting to put on that I haven't got on yet, my V8 Cadillac emblem that I was sent. And let me see, like I said, exhaust we'll have to wait and do tomorrow, but we'll have everything for it. Done a little fitting and moving on the body and welding, so the doors would open and shut a little bit better. You remember we done this car in a rush and needs a lot more welding and stuff. We've got the 4-barrel intake, but we don't have a carburetor yet. A friend of mine, Jake, brought me a carburetor, but this has to be a 55 or earlier Rochester or Carter 4-barrel. They use a smaller pattern, and whoever built that manifold, you know, used the early carburetor. So should have one coming. I think I've got a friend that's got one, or maybe 2 that come off Buicks. So we'll see. And there's our noise maker. So he's who's making noise out here while I'm trying to videotape. Nana, go take care of him for me. So anyway, as soon as I get a carburetor, we'll get it changed over. I am going to try to get some kind of an air cleaner on it before we drive it up to the cruise in. And I need a gas cap. I might have one of them around here somewhere. Hopefully the rain's not going to start again. It's been raining on and off. So anyway, Monday night cruise in, 15th. Also eventually going to add some springs in this thing and raise it up a little bit, front and back. I'm going to do the rear end to a higher gear, so we'll do all that at the same time. And anyway, that's where we're at. So I'll show you as I do the charging system here, and we're going to start the Perkins up. I've got to put a solenoid on the Perkins diesel engine in the 55 Chevrolet, and I hadn't started that thing in probably a year and a half or something, I don't know. But we're going to fire it up here in a little bit, and hopefully we don't have any issues, and get it back running and moving. So hate leaving them set, but you know, time will fly away from you. you know, I had a lot of people talk a lot of bad stuff about the guy that Jack Dove that put the cars in the barn and let them sit, and you know, let some of them sit behind the barn. But you know, time gets away from you. Unfortunately, that's the way it is. And you know, one of the things about it is when he traded for them cars back in the 70s, they were in good shape. So he drove them into that barn, and his memory is they were nice cars that drove into the barn. And you know, 40 years later, they're not so nice of cars, but in his mind, he's still seen them as nice cars. And so his prices were up there, and you know, what he was seeing and what, you know, anyone else that walked in there was seeing was two completely different things. And time just got away from him. You know, he had plans. He had cars at his house he was working on. He actually done some Model T stuff, and so it wasn't like he was completely ignoring all the cars. He just had more cars than he could handle, and I do too. But I jump around from one to the next and all that, and I get complained, you know, people complaining about it, and you know, it is what it is. I'm going to do it. I'm going to make videos, and you know, if I don't jump around, I'll get so aggravated, and I won't do videos, and you know, I just won't enjoy what I'm doing. I'm trying to enjoy what I'm doing. So that's the deal with that. We're going to start the Perkins in a little bit. We're going to do some more work on this, and then the other thing we got to do, the Roadster. My wife has been driving it around, and she really likes it. So one thing I haven't done on it either is the charging system. I've got the wiring done, well, except the charging system and except the headlights. I don't have the headlights wired. I got tail lights, turn signals, everything in the backside, but I don't have my headlights, and I don't think I even put the dimmer switch in. I might have, but I'll have to look. But so I've got to mount it, run some wires for the headlights, and I want to get it done hopefully before Monday so she can drive it up there. And I don't know if I'm going to be able to keep the generator on it because I'm not sure that it's good, but we may change it to an alternator. You know, we'll see what happens, see how it goes. But anyway, let's get on this. Okay, so here's what we got. We've got an F. We should have an A on here, but it may not show. So this will be filled. This is armature. Yeah, I don't see the A, but anyway, as long as you know what one of them is, you're fine. So field armature, that'd be a ground. But we should be grounded fine. And so brown's going to be the armature. Field is going to be yellow because you can run a little bit smaller wire on a field. And it's a shame I can't see, but this one's battery. One is going to be field, one's going to be armature. This is going to be armature, I'm sure, and that's going to be field, I guess. I'll have to look. I just can't see them good enough. Get some of my bifocal safety glasses. Capacitor. Capacitor would run on your armature side. And this is basically a radio suppressor. Keep the noise out of your radio. We don't have to run one on here, but we may run. You never know. I'd add a radio. But so basically you run your field and your armature from your generator to here, and then you run your power to your battery, you know, all-time power or your starter to here. And that's pretty much it. Yeah, it's your charging system. It's done, it's working, ready to go. Now, can you see that? What's that say right there? Okay folks, so far I decided to mount it on the outside, and I'm going to tell you the reason behind that. A lot of younger people won't know what a generator and voltage regulator is. So the one person, that young guy that asked me what it is, when they see it, what's that box for, whatever, and I explain it to him and he'll learn something, that'll make it worth me putting it on the outside. So you know, I don't want to really hide the mechanics of things, and I don't have a problem with it being out there, so we're going to leave it out there. And you know, the car ain't the nicest car in the world anyway, so it really don't matter, but that's where it's at. So that's why I changed my mind. And put a temporary air cleaner on it. Not the nicest or the biggest or anything, but it will keep the dirt out of the carburetor. And got this on. I was glad to get this done. Something I've been really wanting to do, so we've got it on there permanent. And Cadillac Motor Car Company and V8, and then People shouldn't have a problem figuring it out now. And we're gonna get back to wiring here, see if we can get a charging system going. All right. Okay, folks, gotta go for a little test drive here. Looks like they went for a test drive too, huh? Into the trees. All right, so we're not sure how good that camera mount's gonna work here on a magnet, but we'll find out, won't we? You want to go along with me? Very, very noisy. And until I get this rear springs changed, it's going to be riding rough too. Loud and obnoxious, I love it. Okay, so I conned Mike into putting the solenoid on.
Not much con, I was bored.
Oh, okay. Now, I'm worried about this Willys tank I got on it. I've got a bunch of stuff laying on. But we're going to pull the plug out of the bottom. And I'm going to make sure there's no water on the bottom before we crank this thing over. Alright folks, we made about 2 turns and started right up. No problem. I ain't gonna move it far. I just want to see if the clutch still works. Damn hydraulic.
Smells like something like that.
Still got brakes and clutch though. Can you believe that?
change that again, huh?
Alright, she fired right up and running good. But I did notice I got a fuel pump leaking. So it's time to order a fuel pump. So we're going to see what we can do about getting the rear end together for this one here. Start trying to get the parts together. I tried 2 different rears that I found, and both of them, one of them had an axle bad on one side, one on the other side, and then the axles didn't match because the gears didn't match. There's different spline, but they were both 373, and I want a 308 gear. So I need like a up to what, 69, 70, whatever year was the last years that they had the trailing arms. You know, all the way up from like 62 or whatever. Because this has got like a Temkin or something, and it's a little different. You can't even see it, but so much stuff in it. But it's a different rear than what they ran in them. They went to a 12 bolt and a 10 bolt after this truck, and that's what I got to find for it. So, anyway, so it's still going to need, I've got 2 fenders for the back that are nicer to put on, and it's still going to need a lot of work on this door and a little bit of work on the fenders and stuff. But anyway, okay, let's move on to something else. Charging system's working really well. Like I said, all you run is your field, your armature, and your power to your voltage regulator. That is that's about it. Charger's good, no problem. So that's off a 57 Chevrolet, and we just used the big pulley that fit the Cadillac wide, you know, the wide belt. So we're good to go. I put quite a few miles on it today. I drove it around quite a bit and done good. Went through a drive-through, and a lot of people at the drive-through. So, you know, I was sitting for a long time idling. This thing runs at you know, 120, 130 degrees. I shut it off so I could talk to the you know, the drive-through speaker there. And when I started it back up, I noticed it was about at 175, and it instantly, when I started it, cooled right back down. So runs cool, and got my emblem up there. I like it, looks good. And then I don't jump over there, it's hot. I think she's wanting to jump that way for some reason. Don't want her to do that. And anyway, so it's coming along. The only other thing we're going to do on this is run the exhaust down and back, and I'll show you that on the next video. And we're going to do some work on the Roadster, headlight wires, dimmer switch, and you know, maybe a couple other little things. And you know, I've still got a lot more little stuff to do to this one, but you know, I just wanted to make it, you know, good, dependable, where I could drive it. And I hadn't had to charge the battery up yet because I haven't driven it enough, but you know, I wanted to go ahead and get that done. So we're good to go on all of it. So I'll get another video on the exhaust and the Roadster, and we're still working on the Roadster pickup too. So anyway, I appreciate everybody watching, and until next time, bye. Say bye.